is the 3rd of February at 10:19. I'm empty. I unloaded inside that door and now waiting for next work assignment. Sometimes I get lucky, sometimes I get told I have to wait. And today I was lucky because my set appointment was 1 o'clock, but I showed up. It was around 8:45, so I'm just way ahead of schedule. I was set before I pulled into this driveway. I had scouted out a couple locations 1 mile down the road where I can go park. If they told me they weren't going to take my load right now, which is, perfectly acceptable. They have a set appointment for me, so they have every reason to say, oh, we got to wait until 1 because we have too many trucks, type of thing, and no place to park. And I'm kind of parked right now out of the way, and because usually I get a load assignment really quick, and similar to that other truck in front of me, both unloaded, and there's no other trucks waiting. They would on the left-hand side, there's a chain link fence at the stop sign, and that's where the new trucks stop that have loads to unload. So right now there's no other trucks to even unload. And if I see trucks pull in, then I'll just scoot down the road like a mile or two to my parking spot and wait for my load assignment there if I have to. I don't like blocking other trucks or preventing them from doing their job. Last night I stopped and got fuel and was lucky enough to find a parking spot at this Love's. I'm not sure exactly why, but I've never seen so many trucks piling in to get fuel at exactly the same time I was. It was like 6 p.m. But I think I waited 20 minutes to get fuel. So that was the end of my day. I had spotted a parking spot that I know everybody was passing because they were getting fuel. And so I kept an eye on it while I was sitting there waiting to get fuel. And nobody was taking it, so I was like, okay. So after I get fuel, I still had time on my clock, but that means I would have shown up here like at 6 a.m. for a 1 o'clock appointment. So I figured it wouldn't hurt to just stop then. Because after 6 p.m. Eastern time, trucking parking spots are harder to find on the East Coast time zone. Actually, it would have been 7 o'clock Eastern time. So I fueled and I decided, well, I've got time on my clock. If I need to, I can continue down the road and try to find like a rest stop or other truck stops. But all the ones that were listed were like smalls or mediums, so I don't like going for those. But if my parking spot wasn't going to be available, I would head on down the road. So I pulled out and basically went back into the entrance of the Love's to the spot where I had seen an empty spot, and it was still there. So. There weren't too many trucks behind me, so I was able to get in there fairly easily. It's easier when your load is lighter. If I had 50,000 pounds on, that would have been difficult, I think. And with the small nature of these coils that I was carrying, only 25,000 pounds, I was able to actually see more of my deck as I was backing into this space, which really helped a lot. But it never hurts to always get out and look. Especially when you're doing somewhat of a blindside parking job. I never trust my mirrors. I use them to a certain extent to where I say, okay, now I've got to get out and look to verify that everything is okay and that my angle of approach is good. And I'll do that 2 or 3 times, even with other trucks waiting to get by me, because they understand you're trying to get into a spot. Most of them are patient. It's not like they can go anywhere. There was like one truck length ahead of them, empty, and then they'd just be sitting there waiting for 6 or 7 trucks to fuel. So it's not like they had anywhere to go. So I tend not to stress out about those things. And I don't think you should either when parking a truck. Take your time, because it's not going to be them that pays for any damage, or is the result of termination as a result of you hitting somebody else's truck while their truck is parked. So, and I know there's a lot of truck drivers out there that sit in their driver's seat until the spots beside them fill up. And I think, and I know I laugh, but because I think they're very guarded about their vehicle and want to make sure that it isn't damaged by other truck drivers. And that I understand. Because I've been waved down by other truck drivers who thought I was going to hit their truck, and I wasn't going to, and did not. So, but you can reassure truck drivers by, even though you know you're perfectly safe on making it into your spot. If you want to reassure truck drivers,
attention, a new important message has arrived.
Work assignment. So if you want to reassure other truck drivers, just get out and look, make them feel better by like you're protecting their property. So anyway, that's it for now. Time to write down my load assignment, and in fact, let's take a look real quick. So I have to be in Hooger, South Carolina by 4 o'clock. It's 10:30 right now, so I'm assuming I'm going to be way early. And it delivers on the 5th, which is Friday, 7 a.m. to Baltimore, Maryland. So I will be in Baltimore, Maryland Friday morning. It makes me wonder how I'm getting home. Maybe it's within a day's drive, but I highly doubt it. Let's see what happens. I'm going to have to work on my route. They gave me 516 miles to go, and in the quick route it says 560, and that's kind of a straight line, so I don't know how I'm going to be able to shave off mileage here. And ever since, I have to update it again, because since my last update it's been really slow. So you can see it's kind of a straight line there, but there's 40 extra miles in there somewhere. Whoa. It's like, yeah, middle of the ocean, that's where I want to go. Actually, that wouldn't be bad, because I like the water. That's the Clays first arrived in the American continent before it was America, or the U.S. It was 1613, for those that wanted to know. And we got 1,200 acres of land near Richmond as a reward for paying for the passage of 21 other people. So, I thought that was cool to find out. Anyway, 1613, so we've been here longer than the U.S. has been a country. And so yeah, I don't know where I'm going to necessarily shave off time. And yeah, so I'm going to Baltimore Street in Baltimore, Maryland. I've got to drive around D.C. And it doesn't deliver until Friday morning, and I've already called about it, and they said, yeah, I guess I talked to my fleet manager, because it's unusual to get a delivery this far east to deliver on a Friday and not know that I'm going to make it home on Friday or even Saturday morning. There's several Maverick trucks here waiting for the same thing I am. My appointment's not till 4. And it's 3:13, so apparently I can't go in now. They said, yeah, my appointment's at 4. I had to walk all the way up there to check in, because my CB signal from this current location, apparently they can't hear me. And there is no cell phone service out here at all. I know I've been here one other time, and I tried. My wife tried calling me, and the signal came through, but yeah, couldn't communicate. So this is a large row of trucks. They're stacked behind me and in front of me, but everybody parks wherever there's an open space. I like it when it works really well. When a truck goes in, the trucks go forward, but today it doesn't seem to be happening that way. It seems like trucks pull out and nobody moves. So, yeah. Anyway, so apparently at 4 o'clock I can drive up there to the scale house, get my information, get loaded, and get out of here. I've only got 4 hours, so I'll have to, I've only got 4 hours left on my driving clock, but I do have 4 hours and 50 minutes left on my 14-hour clock, so that means I'll burn up all of my 14-hour clock and start eating away at my 11-hour clock while loading these steel beams, sorry. And it is a tarp load, so and then we'll scale out and try to find some place to go park, because they gave me it's Wednesday and it's only 516 miles, so that's one day's driving. And I could have, if I'm lucky, I'll have a couple hours still to drive today, so I'll be fairly close, in the sense that I'll probably show up early near the location where I need to deliver. They don't have parking there, but I can't look it up on my Google Maps because I have there's no data service here. So as soon as I get to civilization, I will pull over and do a map search to see how true that is. My appointment is set at 0700 on Friday morning. I don't know why I want to try to get unloaded early, but what's the point? I'm not going home this weekend, so it's kind of pointless. I'll get a load from there going who knows where, because I'm already on the East Coast, so if I'm here over the weekend, they can pretty much send me anywhere, and I can still end up working my way back towards St. Louis, Missouri next week to be home by hopefully Thursday, to make up for not being with my family. It's so interesting because I'm right on the verge of being done with a bunch of stuff. And I'm glad this didn't happen last weekend, because I had to replace a washing machine. The one we had was over 12 years old, and it was finally starting to leak water out of the front, and I didn't want to deal with corrosion, so I went and just bought a new one. And it's really nice. In fact, I sat there and watched. I did all kinds of loads of laundry just so I can watch it, because it's got a glass top, and it's all computerized and holds a lot of laundry. So, and it self levels and determines how much water to put in there. So it's a lot better than watching TV, in my opinion. So that's it. I'll get my steel beams on and tarp it and get out of here. And I'll have to figure out some way to upload videos this weekend. If they have a McDonald's, I'll just go in there and use their free Wi-Fi until the videos are uploaded. So there may be only like 3 videos this week, so I apologize if there's not more. We'll see. Well, I'm in, I don't know if this is the new murder capital of the U.S. It's like downtown Baltimore, and you can't see it right now because it's after sunset. It's like 6 o'clock. I've got a truckload of steel I-beams, and I've had to, and it may be difficult to make it out, but I've had to like shrink wrap my tarps over my load. And because 2 steel tarps does not cover it all, the center from this is steel tarp, and this is lumber tarp. I'm going all the way back. All the way, where does it end? Oh, right here. So, and then underneath that is the other steel tarp. It's 2 stacks high of I-beams of different sizes. and I used 7 chains in order to cover to cover the length and the weight. It would have, let's see, yeah, 7 chains, and they're no more than 8 feet apart. That's per regulations. Let's see. I'm at a TA, and unfortunately, I'm gonna go back inside my truck so I can be seen. But one of the things I hate is sleeping on a slope, and I guess I can't be too picky about parking here, but oh well. Oh, I just hurt my foot. TA charges for parking at this particular facility. You can kind of see where I'm at right now. This is I-95, and I am exactly 10 minutes from where I need to deliver. They accept deliveries at 7 for my particular load. It's a set appointment. This particular TA, like I said, charges for parking. I thought when I looked this up on my OmniTrax that this was an authorized fuel stop. There are some TAs, really rare ones, but I must have read the exit wrong. It must have been exit 41A and not this exit, because I thought, oh, okay. I stopped earlier because I planned this all out. Unfortunately, with reading it wrong, it didn't help. I got fuel earlier thinking, okay, now I'll have enough to get $50 worth of fuel at this particular location. I pulled up to the pump and it said I wasn't authorized here, so that blew that plan, because if I would have got $50 worth of fuel, it would have been free parking. So no matter how well I may have planned, I've got to learn to read more the exactness of the particular facility I'm trying to fuel at. Pilots and Loves are no problems. It's these other non-pilot and non-Loves fuel stops that if I want to get fuel at, I have to read carefully, because Maverick does have some extra fuel stops in there. So I blew that plan, and but as I was going through the gate, it said I could buy $20 worth of stuff and get free parking. So that's what I did. I bought $20 worth of supplies. Most of it was batteries for a flashlight I have, but and some other food. And the reason I was like, oh, that'll work out perfectly, because I'm not going home this weekend. I'm in Baltimore, Maryland. I deliver tomorrow morning, which is Friday. And there's no way I'm going to be able to drive 900 miles to get home on a Friday. I can get home Saturday afternoon sometime, but that kind of shortens my weekend. No, I have been home on Saturdays before. I was hoping to get a preload assignment message. In fact, my fleet manager, because when I initially got this load assignment, I called, because load assignments are given to us not directly by our fleet manager. They're given by, now I forgot what they're called. It slipped my mind. It's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't remember. But anyway, we don't get our assignments from our fleet managers, and I was like, let me call my fleet manager and see what's up. So I called, and she was surprised, and but I think this happens on occasion. She looked into it to find out, if there was something else I can get that would get me home instead. And apparently there was a truck that was going to come get this, was going to be assigned this work assignment, but it broke down, and that's why I got this work assignment. So this truck's going to back in next to me, which is fine. Once I get, so they were, at that point I knew I was going to make it home, and she said that she would look for a swap for me, and I thought that was great. I didn't think it would be successful from this part of the country, and it wasn't. I just that means I have trucks on each side of me already, so now I don't have to worry, because this is kind of a cattywampus truck stop, so I don't have to worry about a long trailer trying to back in next to me. But my fleet manager did call me later in the afternoon to let me know that she couldn't find a load swap for me, but she was going to talk to the I want to say CSA, but that's not right. The people that give us our loads for this particular area, because they have people that cover different areas of the country. And she was going to see if she can get that person to send me a pre-plan so I would know where I'm going after I drop this off. Otherwise, I'll be, without a pre-plan, I'll just be sitting there, or I'll drive right back here. And because you can park for 2 hours or less for free. So we'll see what happens. Looks like this truck might be trying to park next to this little short truck. So we'll see how that goes. Shouldn't have a hard time. I mean, I got in here, so I don't know if he knows there's a short, well, bobtail's right next to me, but he's cutting it pretty close. Anyway, so that's the plan. I bought food, so I'll have free park. You know, my parking won't cost me any money, and I'll be able to just leave in the morning, show them my receipt, and then head out of here. And have a few supplies for next week, though I may have to do some more shopping. We'll see. Anyway, I'm glad I got in here when I did. From what it sounds like, this place fills up before 8 o'clock, and the only thing left is reserve parking. So, well, that's it for tonight. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I was going to show this film what my load looked like in the sunlight, but you know, when I did my half-hour break, I got caught up answering everybody's messages on YouTube. So, you can blame me. I was going to say all the comments, but no. Anyway, that's it.